Hello everybody and welcome to another one of my short form videos. This one, the Rouslin's opening round 3-ball. I'm your host for it. Hopefully it is my name in it. So Jason Rouslin. Find me on Twitter at DFSGolfer23 and of course in our premium Slack chat for Awesome Plus members. And here, this is, as I mentioned, my Rouslin's opening round 3-ball where I go over very high level stuff about the tournament, the field, give you a couple players playing it, and then of course I give you the first round opening bets and some round one showdown plays. Last week I hit a plus 400 on my 3-ball. I've been picking up steam in it, back to above 500 plus. Of course, if you're hitting 3 balls, it's normally at plus 200 or plus 300 or plus 400. So definitely follow along those. Always fun to get your golf sweat started off right away. I know there's plenty of 4-day sweats going on, but nothing like a 1-day sweat as well. And golf certainly offers that. All right, let's jump right in to this week's tournament, the Honda Classic. For, of course, more detailed information about this type of stuff, come read our free article called The First Cut at awesemo.com/PGA. It's going to be your second thing down. All right, so the Honda Classic gets played at PGA National, which is par 70, 7,100 yards, relatively short. It's 144 players with a cut after 36 holes. The top 65 players and ties will make it. It switched to a PGA National in 2007. The tourney has been around for quite a long time, though, mid-70s. Played around the West Palm Beach area for its entirety. Now before settling in at PGA National. Where to play DFS this week? DraftKings is 100K to first place. FanDuel is 20K to first place. And our friends over at SuperDraft sticking with their 2K to first place for that long drive contest. 10K guaranteed there. So definitely moving on up in the game is SuperDraft with their unique multiplayer game that has no salary cap. You can roster any 6 guys you'd like to, but each guy has a different multiplier. So if you haven't checked it out, go ahead and check it out over there. Superdraft.io and of course SuperDraft in your app store. All right, players playing this week. Tommy, my guy Fleetwood, coming in as the top price guy on DraftKings, second price guy on FanDuel, 11.6, 11.8 respectively. 25th at the WGC Mexico last week. That was his DraftKings points. I actually think I was looking at that right before I pressed record. I think he might have finished a little bit better than that. Before that, though, we had a pair of second place finishes and a first place finish over the fall circuit on the European Tour, so definitely playing in good form. Strokes gained ranks on the year for the PGA Tour last year. Got 55 on the approach and 55 on the putter. That is not a typo. He actually finished in the same place in both places, so interesting there. Okay, now we're going to go to a young stud, Erik van Rooyen, who some of you, if you watched Cover last week, might have known him or heard about him. But he is a young South African. He is on the verge of a special temporary membership on the PGA Tour. Likely with the starts he'll get in WGCs and majors this year, he'll get it regardless of his start this week, but certainly would go a long way. Regardless, would go a long way to getting it. So FanDuel, he comes in at 10-2, a little bit cheaper than on DraftKings, where he is 9-1. And I say a little bit cheaper because it's relative to the overall salary. So Erik van Rooyen, whereas he's $11 more $100 on FanDuel, he's actually more expensive on DraftKings per percentage of salary. Came in third, as I mentioned, at the WGC Mexico, and he missed the cut, however, at the Genesis the week before. His strokes gained ranks, while he doesn't have any PGA Tour ranks, he does most of his damage off the tee. If you look at strokes gained ranks from the Euro Tour, he's definitely one of the best ball strikers and definitely a very streaky putter, which he got hot, obviously, last week at the WGC Mexico. Somebody who did not get hot at the WGC Mexico last week and is really not in great form, but I wanted to bring him up, is guy Tom Lewis. So Tom Lewis is a normal European Tour player, but he came over to the Korn Ferry Tour Finals last year based on the number of points. He qualified based off his number of points. He started in a couple of WGCs and in majors, like I mentioned, so that got him into the Korn Ferry Tour Finals, which he won one of the events, automatically guaranteeing himself a PGA Tour membership this year. However, in his limited starts, he has not performed well, even missing the cut in Puerto Rico last week. Maybe just not the right course for him. But regardless, Tom Lewis definitely has a ton of talent, but not showing it right now. $8,400 on FanDuel and $7,200 on DraftKings. Tom Lewis Also, like Van Rooyen, does a lot of his work ball striking and is a streaky putter. So if you look at the European Tour stats, that's what you'll see. All right, now let's head into the fun of it. Let's head right into the bets and run round one showdown focus. Golf sweats are just the best, so why not start the fun right away? All right, so head-to-head first round. My yearly is 5-6-1 with one parlay. My weekly last week was 0-0, so obviously not very good, but not very bad either, right? I didn't bet anything last week because there was no plus matchups. I wanted to leave that in there because that's one of the first times I had seen that. Again this week, maybe the odds makers, or at least the book that I'm using here, is not wanting to put a lot of plus matchups because they find that they can't win enough on it, maybe. Because the only one I found was Gary Woodland. He's plus 110 versus Brooks Koepka. I'll take that. Woodland is in okay form. He played pretty good last week. And Koepka just doesn't seem to be in great form. So I'll take it. And then similar thing with Shane Lowry against Louis Oosthuizen. Louis Oosthuizen played really bad last week. His ball striking was off. Everything seemed to be off. Where Shane Lowry has been super consistent. I'll take Louis Oosthuizen out of form. I'll take the Shane Lowry there as even money. Not great, but it will give you a decent return on a parlay if you want to parlay those two guys together. They are going to give you, just so I give you the right information. For some reason, I must have just missed writing it down. But they're going to give you a 3-1 payout there. So Woodland over Brooks plus 110 and Lowry even against Oosthuizen. All right, let's head into the three balls where I've come back to, I guess, right at 500. But some really good payouts. So you should definitely be up on this. Every single one that I put there is at least a plus 100. Last week I hit Zach Murray versus Colin Morikawa and company for plus 400. I hit Corey Connors plus 220 against his bouts. Then I hit John Rahm plus 105 against the two guys he was playing against. So I went 3-2-1 for the week with a plus 400 there. That's definitely a positive week. When I look into this this week, it's a little interesting because I like the numbers against Ricky Fowler going against who's playing against. He's playing against Victor Hovland and Joaquin Niemann. Both guys have been very decent this year and have had great rounds. So I'm actually going to play both of them. I know I don't normally like to because if I bet the same amount, I'm just going to come away with a win on Hovland. I'll come away with a bigger win on Fowler. So what I'll do is, a bigger win on Niemann. So what I'll do is I'll bet a little heavier on Hovland and a little less on Niemann, looking for similar payouts there. Again, I'm just not into Ricky Fowler's form right now. I think both of these guys are playing better. That's why I like the plus 220 and plus 280. You can still turn a profit, like I said, if one of those guys wins, and you bet a little heavier on Hovland. So that's what I'm going to be doing this week, looking to bet against Ricky Fowler on those good odds. Come time, if I really think Victor Hovland is going to take out Niemann, then I'll just bet Hovland. But I like to be a little more cautious here. So we'll see if it pans out for me. Like I said, a little bit more on Hovland, a little less on Niemann, and let's see if we can turn a profit there. That's what we're trying to do. We're betting against Fowler. Next one is Josh Teeter. Josh Teeter came in second last week at the Puerto Rico Open. Seems to be in good form, or at least a good course for him. He's plus 225 versus Cam Tringale and Sam Burns. Now, don't get me wrong, Sam Burns is in great form. Cam Tringale has regressed a little bit. But Teeter seems to be in really good form. He doesn't get many starts. He's getting this one because of his top 10 last week. So I would hope and expect that the form to roll over at least to one round. So I like the plus 255 odds there. Only two bets this week. There weren't many great options, at least in my opinion. All right, for our round one showdown focus, we saw Benny On climb all the way back to under par for the tournament last week. Looks like there's a ghost in my office. I apologize to hear that door shut there. There's a wind blowing and I've got my door open to outside. So, okay, Byung-Hun An finished the tournament under par, so he comes in at 8,700. Like him for round one, we've seen him be a round one leader quite a few times, actually. And Siwoo Kim, continuing my South Korean duo. My South Korean duo. Siwoo Kim has flashed form a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Now coming to Florida, where he's already won before. He's had some good success before. Maybe the other thing too. Sorry for the Freudian slip there. So we do like Byung-Hyun on a bounce back week, and to follow up as in the South Korean contingent, Siwoo Kim. We like him to find some form over these next 4 weeks. So why not play him in some showdown stuff? So thank you so much for coming to join here. My 3-ball video, where, like I said, just go over some of the quick things, give you guys a quick sweat for round 1, and then we'll go from there. So this week, my goal, I hope to be able to get out a showdown video. I'm heading to the DFS Open this week and playing. I've got a great foursome. I've got my buddy Matt Smith, or Seminole on Twitter, and then I'm playing with Siege. So you gotta love that. I'm excited about that. Spent a couple hours with the Siege. CJ Kaltenbach and one of CJ's friends were 6,700 in the DFS Open contest. If you haven't heard of that yet, check out at Rick Rungood on Twitter. Great contest. All proceeds are going to the first tee. And there'll be a first place swag bag prize, second place stuff going on, some Pro V1s and all that. So a good way to get into the fun if you're not able to get into the DFS Open, and also a good way to support the first tee. So if you do any of that, thank you for that. And of course, have a great week at the Honda Classic. We wish you the best of luck. It is known as the Honda Massacre. Cuts will be over par. The last 3 holes have a ton of water on them. There's going to be inevitably massive cut sweats. It's a great week. Starts off the Florida swing. So I hope you guys all enjoyed it. And we look forward to seeing you again on Wednesday night show. If you need more content, me and Geoff, one of our new guys on here, Jeff Ulrich, will be taking Ben's place, as Ben is traveling down today to come see me and play some golf. So Ben will be here for the DFS Open as well. So until next time, everybody, thanks for joining, and have a good week. Cheers.